Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. Now this is the new polytunnel. This was only finished in June and was planted just to see what it would do, and it's done remarkably well, and it's proved a few points to me so that I know what I can use it for next year. There's still lots of work to do on it and I'll get all that done through the winter. There's still landscaping to be done around here and this area needs finishing off, but for the minute we'll go in here because we've got blight in here. So we'll go and have a look at that and then crack on with some work. Now the first few tomato plants, I think it's 5 or 6 down this side that I'm filming now, have blight. You can tell these from the leaves, they're completely mullered. But what actually gives it away for me are these black patches. That tells me categorically that it's blight, and I've got the same over here if you look at these. So that's blight. But what I have got in here, which is crimson crush plants, these are blight resistant, and these are these fellas here. Look, not a sign of blight, doing well. All these are crimson crush, covered in fruit. The only issue I've got with these right now is I don't think they're getting enough sun to ripen. That's because I tested with this baby corn. This baby corn will be coming out next week. Probably 4 or 5 days time to be fair, probably towards the end of this weekend, simply because we've got the backlog of the corn that I picked yesterday. So once that's diminished and been away and stored, then we'll pick this baby corn and start eating that. But for now I need to get these blight plants out and get them burned. Yeah, I'm going to burn the whole lot, the fruit the lot. I mean, they were only thrown in here just to see how well they would do, and you can see that they've reached for the rafters up there. They were looking pretty healthy as these crimson crush plants, which are also reaching up. But you know, bear in mind that these crimson crush plants were all grown from the side shoots from the plants that I've just taken out of the main polytunnel yesterday. So this is how good it gets, and these are free plants grown on from side shoots from the mother plants, and they're 7 foot tall easily, and they're not absolutely covered in fruit, but they have got fruit on them, so it's a free harvest and can't argue with that. So yeah, very pleased with that. So we'll get these monstrosities out, away and burnt.
Could hear my father's voice, he would tell me to move on. He would say I'll be just fine. Yeah, he would tell me we have time to laugh and time to heal. Our favorite song is on repeat, drinking wine until the dawn, knowing soon we'll be back home. Ooh.
So this lot is heading for a bonfire, which I'm going to light in a minute over there. I'll get this lot burned. And some of you will have noticed as I was doing that, all the fruit has also gone in there. Sometimes it's savable. If you don't see any signs on the fruit, you can save them, ripen them at home. But there was at least 1 or 2 on every plant in there that were showing signs of blight rot. So I suspect that it's right through the fruit and they're just going to rot on the kitchen windowsill at home. So I'm just going to get rid of the whole lot, burn the whole lot, and it's done with. And then I can concentrate on ripening the fruit on those crimson crush in there. So yeah, get shut of them, burn them. I couldn't finish this video off yesterday. I had an old friend come round and we spent a good couple of hours nattering, as you do with friends. But what I'm doing now is planting these Chinese cabbage. This is the variety Wong Bok, and This is my hot box. This is from outside where I had my sweet corn growing through the season. I grow that around them. I put this around. I don't grow it around. I put it around the growing plants to protect them in the early part of the year with a lid on, and that speeds the growth up to the lid. Take the lid off and they're off and running. And these sides protect it from wind because they're only a very shallow rooted plant, sweet corn. So yeah, they need that extra protection to stop the wind rock because they're just like big sails. But anyway, I've brought it in here now. Going to use it over winter to grow these Chinese cabbage, and then come spring I'll start my tomatoes off in these inside the other polytunnel. But anyway, I'm going to get these planted now, and this is my nemesis, as I've said many times before, Chinese cabbage. Trying a different way this year. I have grown them just against the polytunnel plastic in years past, and I think it's just too cold for them there. So I'm going to try growing them in the centre of the tunnel under protection and see if that works. I should be able to get these to come out, and I'm sure people down south can grow these over the winter fairly easily under cover. But up here in the cold north, it's been a bit of a challenge for me, but I will find a method where I can get a crop out eventually. I nearly got there last year, so there is hope. And the observant among you will notice I'm not putting any feed in. This bed was well fed at the start of the year for the tomatoes, and although the tomatoes are greedy, I think, kind of an intuition thing really, I think there'll be enough feed in this soil to be plenty rich enough for these to grow. Time will tell, as they say. So I grew these, started these off in a seed bed in the small polytunnel, and planted some out early underneath the tomatoes before they were finished, which is a good method. It gives you a crossover crop. So the next crop is growing as your first crop is finishing off. I did it up there with the kale, and that's worked wonderfully. Unfortunately, they all died. But at the same time as I dug some of the seedlings up from the seed bed to plant in here, I also planted some in pots here. So hedging my bet slightly to ensure that I've got plants to grow. So just plonking them in the ground as usual, green side up, just in case you didn't know. It doesn't get any easier than that. I've got some caterpillar damage on these. Right, I'm going to have to spray these as well, get the old BT spray out on them. So there we go, Chinese cabbage, one box. And as the weather cools through the season, I'll put the front panel on today, and later on I'll put the lid on. So they just want a good watering now. The ground is quite moist, it's good, and I'm surprised really, considering the warm weather we've had and how much tomatoes drink. That's just come out a couple of days ago. The water, the ground is fairly moist throughout. So this water, rather than just soaking into a top layer, will get down into the soil and help the plants. But watering does two jobs. It helps to settle the soil as well as water the plant itself. So if you've got any air pockets in there, the soil is good here, it's fairly loose, so it will help to settle the soil into those air pockets. Because if you've got an air pocket, the roots will get into it and they'll dry off and die off. So there we go, fairly happy about that. Now come on my beauties, grow. So I'm going to put the front panel cover on, and all it is roofing slats screwed together at the ends, some plastic wrapped and stapled around it, and that is it. It doesn't get any simpler than that, and that's what you want. And then to hold it, I've just got some big bolts here which go through that panel, and then if I can find the hole here, just goes through there. And I've got some wing nuts which will just tighten it up if I ever want to do it. Mostly I'll just leave it as is. There we are. And then later I've got a lid which will just go on the top. For now I'll put it round the back, out the way. So the lid will just sit on there like that, and during the colder weather, and for ventilation, there we go. Doesn't get much simpler than that. But now I'll just stack this out the way round the back. So that's it for this one. Please stay safe everyone. See you very, very soon. Take care. Ta-ra now.